They are on foot. They are walking. Where are your horses? You are walking to irregular. What is wrong with you? Oh, it's so urgent. We gotta go quick. There was still no message from Celebrimbor. Sauron might be there. Are you crazy? Just 1 minute in, and I'm absolutely stunned. This show was such a mistake. Welcome to episode 4, by the way. Okay, let me go back to the beginning. Galadriel mentions that there hasn't been a message by Celebrimbor yet. One sentence in, and I'm already rolling my eyes. Yes, he's very well aware of this. You are already on your way to find some elven companions and make the trip. Also, I'm pretty sure she says that off screen, so this has been ADR'd, so they put it in after the fact.
Still no word from Celebrimbor.
This just shows you that they don't trust you to remember what they showed you in episode 2 a week ago. They don't trust their audience at all. Also, wow, look at all these soldiers. How about you send some of them to Eregion? You absolute dipshits. But Muto, they're currently marching to Mordor, so they can't spare them. Well, to that I say, bullshit. If there's another very real threat in one of your big cities, you send people there. I'm not even asking for a full army, like a group like we have shown here. Defense is a very important part of warfare. No point in winning the one battle but losing one of your key settlements that also has the best smith of all of elvenkind in it. Already going strong with this episode. Aaron then ignores the comment because, as I said, I'm pretty sure it was ADR. He tells her that if they travel over the Axa Bridge, it should only be 150 leagues to Eregion. Great, more measures to make sure how far Eregion is. So I was about to put a whole thing here where I figure out how fast the elves might go and how long it's going to take them to get to Eregion in real time. But then I realized, one, putting a whole bunch of numbers on screen is not going to be very interesting to look at, and I don't really know how to do it in a fun way for everyone, so that's one reason why I'm not going to do that. Two, they're using their own flume system in terms of time zones, so even though I'm pretty sure it's only like 450-ish miles to Eregion, they're only going to take like 1 day or something like that to get to Eregion based on the rules they presented to us in the show. So I figured I'm just not going to waste your time. So we're just going to move right ahead and complain about how they're not going to use any horses. Keep in mind that at the same time, Durin and Disa get an invitation by Celebrimbor, go to Eregion, get the info about the ring, go back to Khazad-dûn, talk to the king, make their way back with Mithril, and only then they can start making the rings. Again, I said it in the last episode, I don't know what the time zones actually are. They made up some of their own rules, and I don't think they work out at all. If they only need a day on foot, why aren't they taking horses? Jesus Christ, this bothers me a lot. Aaron then asks her if she has some elves to recommend that can join them, and then she gets all pissy. Because he says that he trusts that she knows some good elves to join.
Trust? Me? Are you certain that's wise, Commander?
Have you learned nothing, Galadriel? Galadriel. You went on your whole speech, all teary-eyed, that you need him to protect and guide them, because they can't let Sauron into her mind again, just to be pissed that you are not the commander. Absolutely bonkers. You should be happy you're not locked up. They just walk to Eregion. Why? I don't know. They just walk. They could just use their teleport horses that go from one place to another instantly. If they would use horses and we use their magic flume time zones, they should be in Eregion in like 10 minutes. I don't know, it's fucking stupid. What a god-awful start. Goddamn. But yeah, we cut to them doing the walkings and arrive at the bridge, which has been destroyed by lightning. And that it has surely been Sauron's doing. Excuse me? So he can summon crazy powerful lightning that's like ultra mega thick. I mean, look at the fucking bridge and how destroyed it is. The lightning destroyed this? That's insane. That is a very useful thing Sauron can do, and I'm sure he's going to use it again in the future to win every battle, because he can just summon lightning to destroy things. Not only is the bridge destroyed, but also the chasm that they can't pass anymore goes on forever in both directions. They discuss what's going on next, and they say we can go north, which would add another 2 weeks to our travels, or we go through the evil hills. But that will be a bit faster. They decide to go the faster path through the hills, but Galadriel has some spooky vision and says that it's a trap and Sauron wants them to go that way. Aaron just says,
"Opinion heard, Lieutenant."
And they go south because he doesn't trust the ring powers. But we all full know well that Galadriel is gonna be right, and they have to go the long way after they get ambushed or something. Before they leave, Elrond talks to Galadriel and he tells her that they won't take any advice of that trinket, and she won't either. And if she can't follow those rules, she needs to turn around now and go back home. Oh wow, that's actually a good idea. Don't let the ring get closer to Sauron, as I said before. But she says that she wants to go home, but doesn't, because she doesn't want anyone of that company to die. Wow, how noble of you, I guess. I guess you think they can't handle their own, those elves you recommended and trust. Also, Galadriel is stupid in how she delivers all these messages, because Aaron has no idea when she took counsel from the ring or not. She could just say, oh, we shouldn't go that way, it's really rough terrain and it's very dangerous, or something like that. But that's so smart, so we can't have that. Back to Rue, now favorite part of this story. Wizard man meets this old man. I wonder who it's Tom Bombadil. The guy who's like mega god or whatever in Lord of the Rings. I thought I heard he was more colorful than this, but he's like kind of grayish, brown, dull colors. But look at this picture. I like barely know the lore, but I think he looks way more like Tom Bombadil from what I understand. Not Gandalf asks Tom about the Harfoots, but he just answers some sing-song shenanigans, and then he goes on to ask him about the stars over his hills and how strange they are. Tom Bombadil says, no, aren't there stars over all the hills? And he's just really annoying already, and I don't like him. Like, if I would meet that guy in the open and would ask a question, he's like, I don't know, did you find me? It's like, fuck you, go away. I don't like it. Shut up. Then the map floats away, and he sees a branch that doesn't look anything like the one in his dream. But he's like, I want that one! And tries to break it off. But unfortunately for him, this is a living tree. So the tree eats not Gandalf, and that's that. Cutting away, we finally go to Nori and Poppy. I wonder what happened after they got flung into the air very highly. They're probably like damaged or hurt, or they landed in like a bush, maybe in an oasis, or something stupid like a well or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. They're just fine. They're just fine. Nori just lies on the dirt floor, meaning she just landed there and is fine. And Poppy is like half in a small bush. They don't even limp, they're just fine. They're just fine after this happened. They get catapulted by a tornado high in the air, and they're fine. They get up and start walking away, and they hear trackers. And they're like, oh damn, what are we gonna do? They jump off a cliff and they're also fine, so I guess they just don't take any fall damage. But yeah, they also roll down a hill for long enough to make it funny. And then they fall right in front of this guy that looks like a Harfoot. Okay. Also, look at his fucking face. But yeah, he says dumb things because the joke is he's very slow and dumb, and that's the funny bit. Like when they ask for his name, he says nobody, because everybody calls him that way. But then he also recalls that his mom calls him Merrimack. They go back and forth, and he accidentally says that he's from a village, and then they immediately blackmail him for stealing the water from the well. And so he takes them with them. Also, Poppy looks at him like she's in love. So, sure, that's great. That's exactly what I want right now. Harfoot love. Stinky love. They follow him and he says there are 4 rules that they have to follow when they meet the Gund, which is the leader of this village. It goes like this. 1. Don't look in her eyes. B. Always stand 3 steps back. 4. Never call her the Gund. Do you get the joke? That's 3 rules, and he also used B instead of 2. Because he's retarded. They go inside and Nori wonders if there was 3 or 4 rules, but they weren't really paying attention. Okay. I fucking hate Harfoots. We see that these folk live in a kind of a rock formation and carved housing into the rocks and made some waterways so they can water their plants and stuff like that. And look what happens when you take Harfoots off the road and give them a place to live. They're kinda clean. They call themselves stores, and I assume those are left behind Harfoots from long ago that made their own living here. The gun tells Merrimack that even he can't be that stupid, bringing the folk here that has been followed by the big people. And then Poppy defends him, saying like, oh, you shouldn't be that mean to him. And then all the stores around go like, oh my god, did she just talk back to her? Oh my god. They're gonna make this a thing between them, aren't they? I mean, yeah, go for it. They can go and live happily ever after with those 2 orcs from the last episode. Jesus Christ. But yeah, everyone is shocked that she talked back. And then Merrimack was like, was that the 4th rule? Bazinga! Also, how do you know this information about them being followed? I guess you've been watching them? Whatever, maybe we get more info later. We do, and it's gonna be worse. She also says to Nori to give them one good reason not to just feed them leg and limb to the people following them. They're not Harfoots, but they're still psychopaths. Good to know, good to know. I don't know, did you try being nice and not wanting to send people to their deaths immediately because they're outsiders? Nori says that she walked all over the place to fulfill her friend's destiny and blah blah blah, but before she can finish, the gun says that she wanted one good reason. but then asks about her friend anyway. This is all very good dialogue. Nori says that he's a wizard and they try to find a stick or whatever for him. But that's bad because they only know one wizard and he's the dark wizard. And so they're friends and he's evil too, so they capture them. Alright, let me check the list. Happens to survive the tornado. Check. Stumble upon new character to bring them to a new place in the story. Check. New character somehow know they are being followed. Check. Accidentally talk about a thing that gets them in trouble. Check. Impeccable storytelling as always. We have a brief scene with the Dark Wizard where one of the tracker tells him that they lost the Harfoots, but know that the East Star is with the Hermit. The Dark Wizard tells him to only look for the Harfoots and they will deal with the wizard themselves. Cool, back to the wizard. We see Tom getting our boy out of the tree by talking to it. This is also where he officially introduces himself as Tom Bombadil? Tom Bombadil. This stays in. He preps a bath for definitely not Gandalf, and he hears a woman voice singing along and sees a pot move. I don't know, maybe a fairy. I legit don't know what that means because Tom even says there's no one else but them. There might be some lore implications to this that I just don't know about, but as of recording this has never been mentioned again, and I don't know if it ever will be. So make of that what you will. Tom always talks in like rhymes and weird riddle-like talk, and he's really annoying. I'm sure in the original writing it's way better, or at least presented better or something, but here I just find it distracting and hard to focus on, and he kind of comes off as a dick towards not Gandalf. It's really annoying. And we see him do some magic shenanigans like controlling fire or accidentally make it go whoosh like crazy while yawning or turning a map into bread. Turn a map into bread? I hope you didn't need that anymore. I guess you made it to the star constellation. I guess you can eat your map as bread. But then not Gandalf says that he's meant to borrow a branch from the tree and if he might teach him magic or how to wield a staff. But Tom tells him that maybe he should have asked the tree for the branch and adds later that he's not ready to learn magic, at least yet. He also tells not Gandalf that he has been there since before the first tree and before the first acorn and rain. And so, I don't know, he's super mega immortal guy and he's been there before everything else. He even says that he is the eldest. Like, actually the oldest being. At the end, Gandalf realizes that he wasn't meant to find a stick, but Tom. And, oh no, they hear horses, and Tom says that they're not alone, and he's not the first Eastar that has met him here. The one before him was the Dark Wizard, and he, in case you couldn't tell by his name, is evil now, and controls most of Rhûn and yearns for more. Because he yearns for more, he would need Sauron as an ally, and if they would let that happen, all of Middle-earth would be screwed. When Gandalf asks Tom if he can stop him, he says that he's a wanderer and not a warrior. Gandalf then realizes that, oh, am I here to face Sauron? And Tom says, no, you have to face both Sauron and the Dark Wizard. Honestly, it's just a longer exposition scene to introduce Tom and his shenanigans as well as making the Eastar realize things. But back to our Elven squad, where we see that they made it to the evil part that Galadriel saw in her vision. Do you have to go through here? I feel like you can just go around if it's so evil and spooky. Like, this place doesn't go on forever, right? But yeah, they look around there on guard, and then one of the elves hears the whispers and sees eyes in the caves. When Galadriel asks what he heard, he says,
It was almost like a song, the memory of a song.
just say you heard whispers and that there is someone in the cave, for fuck's sake. The way you said it just now, it's useless information. Not only is it annoying that the elves keep talking in this fancy schmancy way, now they're making the characters actively more stupid by making them talk that way. Instead of directly telling Galadriel what the problem is, he talks some nonsense about a song. Thanks. I guess talking this way is more important than giving everyone a heads up of a potential threat of monsters in the cave. Anyway, they find some corpses and oh no, it's the messengers the king sent. Which means Sauron awakened the evil peeps here before the message was on the way. I don't even know how to fit that in, because either he did this while going to Mordor to let himself be captured, or after that when he's going to Eregion. And at some point he went around and had like, I don't know, maybe he has like an evil stick now. Just revived evil creatures along the way. And destroying bridges with big boy lightning and shit. He's so powerful, what does he need the rings for at this point? Just create evil things everywhere. Just take your evil stick and go like, there's some ghouls here, some wraiths here, some orcs. What's the point? It's just all problems. He did this in between something, or maybe he did it remotely. Who knows? But in any case, one of the guys gets chained into a cave and gets eaten or something. You can hear like bones crack and shit. So he's dead. And then we get the reveal. Oh no, it's barrow-wights. They know what they are, but they don't know to kill them because they attack them with their normal weapons and they have no effect. Except Elrond. He says a little bit later, it's like, oh, this are barrow-wights. The lore says you need to use the weapons they have been buried with. Why didn't you tell them immediately? What's wrong with you? Maybe you shouldn't be in command either. After they get attacked by the normal weapons, they regenerate, And then one lady elf with the bow gets told to not shoot. Oh yeah, because it doesn't do anything. No. It's not because it's useless, but Galadriel, realizing the trajectory of the arrow, realizes it would hit the other guy behind the burrow. How the fuck did she do that? But luckily for the random elf, Aaron splits the arrow in half, so it's all good. Sure, yeah, why not? Right after, Aaron tells the guy he just saved to help him open the burial site and starts handing out weapons out of there because they can kill them with those. In the meantime, Galadriel got grabbed as well, but gets saved by Aaron. He gives her a spear to stab the wights, and they win. That sure was a scene. Oh no, we can't kill them. Actually, never mind. The weapons they are vulnerable against are right here. I just waited to tell you. Why doesn't Sauron just make an army out of these guys and just throw the weapons away? You just have an unkillable army of wights. Anyway, this is basically where Galadriel confirms to us that Sauron is the one who awakened them all. And also all the other evil that's currently going around. What can't he do? What can't he do? How did he even lose at this point? I just even know how he lost against anyone with all these powers. That's insane. Arundi and Isildur have been searching for Theo with a party of people. When arriving at the camp in the woods where Theo got grabbed, Arundi tells Isildur not to worry and that he has survived far worse. You mean when he was hiding in a well or something? I mean he did survive a pyroclastic wave, so I guess you're right. Sure, whatever, but can you show some kind of urgency? Didn't you love his mother? Don't you want him to be safe in her stead? He always feels so disconnected. The only one that emotes less is Theo himself. They move on and search more places, but Arundi sees a fire in the distance. He yells out to come this way, but he notices that it's not moving. When he arrives at the torch, he realizes it's just a perfectly standing up torch cradled in someone's severed hand. And a little further ahead, he finds the rest of the body spiked and dead. Back at Pelargia, they talk about how they should raid the camps of the Wildmen, and they might even eat people if they have to. Arondir, who seems to be kinda the leader here at the moment, tells them that he doesn't think any mortal man could have done this, just to be told that the Wildmen are animals and such. They really don't like the Wildmen. But then Estrid says they should look north, because she searched for loved ones a long time over there, and she saw some Wildmen there. Sus. Arondir looks at her wondering. It's like, oh, that's kinda suspicious, isn't it? We then get a scene where Isildur sims for Estrid after once again saying how epic and cool Numenor is, and she would love to see that city one day, but Isildur figures that her betrothed would probably also like to see it. She's a thought! Before they can go on, Arundi arrives to the conversation and asks some questions, wondering how long she was hanging out with the wild men, and she says that she was hiding, but not dealing with them. But he is not taking it, even after Isildur tries to simp again. Arundi points out that he noticed a wound on her neck, and after trying one more time to make up an excuse, she tries to run. But she gets captured immediately, because Arundi is epic and cool and stuff, and they do a little dance, so she gets captured. Look at it looks like they're dancing. But yeah, he checks her neck and says that the Wildmen are burning them to hide the mark, and now she will get them straight to the Wildmen. I already pointed out in my last video how it's kind of useless to see the mark, because there's probably going to be a lot of people who ran away right after they got branded, so this doesn't really mean anything, but we don't consider this. Also, they're so quick with their payoffs and won't let it breathe at all. Her being potentially a spy was set up last episode at the end. The writers just won't let this breathe and loom in the back and make you wonder for a bit while they do stuff together, getting friendly with everyone, etc, etc, etc. But here we are, already outing her as basically evil-ish. Also, why lie like this? As I already said in my last video, just say you ran away after they branded you and made you go do Wildman stuff. There should be lots of people coming here that are just trying to escape Adar. But we don't talk about this, because the next scene is already happening, where Arundi and Isildur and Estrid go to the north. Alone. Huh? What's with the big rallying speech to get provisions and we go check out the north if you just go alone while also not having any kind of tents or provisions or anything with you? What's even the point showing us that last scene if you don't really do anything with it and just leave everyone back in Pelargir? Also, where the fuck is your horse, Isildur? Why is this episode so posed on using horses for traveling all of a sudden? What are we doing? On their travels, Isildur asked a chained-up Estrid what her plan was, just to take a sword and horse, or did she have grander plans to use him as a Númenórean, to go to Númenor and have a nice life or whatever? She asks if he would have liked her to die back in Mordor, and he just answers with, I don't know, let me think. Wow, he really doesn't like her all of a sudden. Maybe he had a wank and that post-nut clarity is hitting. Arundi finds some chips on the floor and says to hurry because Theo has not been taken by men at all. Oh my god. Are you going to bother to tell Isildur what it is you saw? Or we... No, oh, no, next scene. Okay, oh, no, mind. Okay. In this scene, we see Theo waking up, trapped in a tree jail. Pretty much instantly, you can see that they could just easily escape from there. The gaps are pretty darn big, so just leave. Also, why have they been captured anyway? We have seen that the Ents have been killing people, so why are these guys so special? Well, the thing is they aren't, but we need the drama later, so they can't be dead. Duh. And back to the other ones. Astrid wants Arondir to unshackle her so she can balance herself better, but obviously that's not gonna happen. And because we need some more drama, baby, Isildur stumbles into quick mud. They check on him and he's already halfway in the mud. He's also facing them? Shouldn't he be facing the other way? Or did he turn around while getting tracked? I don't know, it's the least of my issues, but I feel like he should be facing the other way considering the way he was going. Arondir tries to pull him out, but oh no, they're getting both sucked in, and damn, I guess they're dead. Astrid looks like he's going to run away, but actually he's getting a stick, and oh no, a mud worm. But before it can do anything, Arondir slices them out, and the worm dies, escapes, it just goes back into the mud, I don't know. Okay, look at its mouth. How does anyone survive getting eaten by this worm? Does its mouth open up wider while eating? It has to, because if you get chomped down by this thing the way it is, you'd be both squished. Also, Astrid getting the stick to quote-unquote save them doesn't really help them in the way she intended to. But it basically saves them accidentally because it attracts the worm, so Arondir could slice himself out. But did Arondir know they're back on the surface and it was safe to cut them out, or was that also luck? And then Isildur asks what this was, and he says, there are many unknowns in these lands, or something, but we call this one supper. Making the joke that it seems highly out of character for Arondir. Really odd. So you just said that you don't really know what this is, right? But you cut out something from his belly, and I guess this is edible? I really hope for you this is edible, because otherwise you might be in trouble. I think it would be really funny though if they would get the runs in this episode. I'd be down with that sounds fun. Checking in with the stores, we have the gun to tell the others that the elders and she have decided to cast them out by daylight because they come first. Imagine my shock that this Harfoot variety is also made of crazy psychopaths that can't be nice to outsiders. But luckily, now Dori does the opposite of the first scene, where she just happens to say the correct thing, saying that Sadok would have probably done the same thing. That makes the gun curious, because back in the day there was a very special store that was looking for the Suzat, a place where you could dig a hole and live in it in less than a month, which is heavily implied to be the Shire. You leave the Shire alone, you little freaks, you and the hobbits have nothing in common. The gun asks if she's here to guide them to the Suzat, because, I don't know, ages ago a burrow said they would send someone to get them there. Wait, so you knew about the Harfoots and then didn't check if they were here to guide you to your promised land? This seems to be an important part of your culture and you didn't entertain the idea earlier? You just were like, oh well, time to eat you back into the desert and kill you. The whole burrows thing shouldn't be the part that made you curious all of a sudden. The fact alone that some random Harfoot from somewhere on the planet is here should be a joyous occasion of hope for you, and excitingly ask them about why they're here and not, ugh, outsiders, time to throw them to the wolves. But Nori looks at the painting and starts to cry, saying they never found it, and they just kept wondering, pointing out that they don't have a home. Wait, I thought the whole fucking point was that home is where the family is and shit like that. If you're born into a nomadic family that keeps wandering, you would consider wherever your family is your home, right? Like, are you happy to be an adventurer? Are you sad about leaving your family? Or are you sad that your tribe doesn't have a home? Who are you? But they get rudely interrupted by some trackers arriving. When the gun tries to ask them why they're here, he fucking slaps her in the face. Yes! Do it again. Do it again. The more pain the Harfoots go through, the better. Fucking little psychos. But then he slaps her down, but then offers his hand to help her up, which is just weird. I don't know what the point is. Is he doing good cop, bad cop, but by himself? They ask about the halflings, but she denies that there's anyone here but stores. And then they just say, well, we shall come back with the Dark Wizard, and he's gonna curse you or something. And leave. Are you not gonna search the place? You're like way bigger and stronger, have weapons. You look like you're willing to kill them and curse them. Just go around a bit and you'll find them, surely. Also, you know the settlement is here? Did you guys go here before and ask if they're hanging out with a weird new wizard or something? I guess we'll never know. Because now it's time to meet back up with Elrond and his team of Avengers. And I have to give them a plus point. A big thumbs up. The Elf Avengers are actually mourning the death of one of their own. Didn't expect them to actually acknowledge that at all. Good on you. Galadriel goes up to Elrond and says, hey, I know you don't trust the rings, but I believe it is guiding me.
Yeah, I've got a raging clue right now.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? You made this same claim before and it didn't work. It's like you have to sit her down every time she says something about the ring and tell her again and again while Elrond doesn't trust the rings. She tells Elrond that she hasn't reached the point where she thinks the sacrifices are too big to win against Sauron. Reason being that a future ruled by Sauron is much more dangerous. oh, so the ring is telling you to protect it and get you to places because this is what this sounds like. Even saying that Elrond, you gotta kill me before Sauron can win. Yeah, that doesn't really help your case. She says that he doesn't trust the rings, but he has to promise her that he will not stop on stopping Sauron, even if it means killing her. And then Elrond says, I will not do what the ring says, but I promise I will not stop, even if it means killing you. So what happened here is, the evil person says, hey, do this. And then Elrond says, no, I won't do this thing for you, evil person. But I will do the thing. But not because you told me so, but because of my own beliefs. Yeah, sure, that still gets the evil person's thing done. Oh well. Anyway, look out, drums! Oh no! Boom, 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 boom. But no action time quite yet. Time for more Isildur Simpich. Arondir looks at Estrid and puts down the keys to the shackles. Isildur wonders why they're here, and she says that Arondir apparently wants him to decide. He unshackles her because I guess she told them she tried to save them off screen or whatever. I don't know, they don't really talk about it on screen. It's another thing we have to assume happened off screen again, which, you know, classic Rings of Power. Or his post-nut clarity wore off and he's got the hornies again, I don't know. She says that she's sorry, and he replies by saying, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, definitely horny, he shouldn't be sorry for anything. He even goes for the cheek again and possibly a kiss, but she grabs his sword and says, no, there's no forgiveness for people like me. Oh, so you're part of the Wildman, and you meant to kill them now. Okay, I get it, so you were actually never here to be good, you're actually just evil. But yeah, Arondir is obviously still here, and he has an arrow pointed at her. Well, she's dead. Release it. Do it now. Arondir, hello? Arondir, hello? Can you... Oh, okay, never mind. Well, he should have released it already, but we have to do tension and have Isildur sim some more by saying, I won't allow them to cast you out, me. Man, he sent those super chats and his tier 3 memberships, and he will protect his queen.
Donated $600. I love you, please be my girlfriend.
But before anything else can happen, Arondir notices some movement and oh, it's the Ents! And he tells her to drop the sword, but she doesn't and gets killed by an Ent. Obviously she's fine, but she should be dead. Dude, look at this. All her bones are smush. That Ent is swinging for a home run and absolutely decks her. She is donezo. The Ents are here to kill them because they see the sword and think it's for chopping wood. Arondir introduces himself as Arondir of the Greenwood, and the Ent asks if he ever cut down a tree, and he says, yes. You fucking moron. They obviously mean the one he had to cut down in season 1 when he was forced to work on that trench. You know, the one tree they didn't get rid of. So yeah, just lie at this point. You obviously didn't do it out of malice and you were enslaved. I will not blame you for that lie. The Ents wonder what the sword is for and they say it's not for felling trees, it's for orcs. And with that they unlock the dialogue path where they tell them that there has been an army of orcs going around maiming and killing peeps and that's why they're here. The one Ent still doesn't believe it, but Arondir talks tree speak to her and calms her down and stuff and says that he will promise to make it right in the future. But forgiveness takes an age, yada yada yada. Those Ents sucks. They don't talk in the slow Ent talk we saw in the original trilogy, which was really cool. They just talk normally with a little bit of voice change. Like, listen to this from the trilogy.
We must decide if the Ents will go to war. Decided? No. We only just finished saying good morning.
And now compare it to this.
The spilling sap and burning branch calls to us from afar. But we were too late.
They are no different from them! Bowing and uprooting, branch breakers and trunk splitters all!
Isn't that super fucking lame? Like, isn't that just sucky? Isn't that just boring? Also, holy shit, it's an Entwife. I'm surprised they didn't make this a much bigger deal because the depiction of Entwives is super rare in Tolkien lore. So this should be huge, but you know, it's just, oh, you know, this is an Ent lady. And now she's gone. Anyway, moving on. They make good with the Ents and free the people in the cage, which means Theo and all the Wildmen in there. Okay. Isildur checks on Estrid, and obviously she's fine, and he starts his super mega simpage right now, and he's about to kiss, like, this should be one of the Wildmen is her fucking this is the betrothed? First time one is depicted, I think, ever. Well, put that on a list of things just happening inconveniently, or conveniently, I don't even, whatever. Isildur got fucking cock-blocked and cucked because he's instantly like, oh my god, you're here, come and give me a hug and a smoosh. Get fucking cucked, Isildur. What a loser, dude. Then he just walks away in shame. What? What are we doing? What are we doing with Isildur? So, hey, Waldman, what are you guys up to? You still with Adar and stuff? Because if so, sorry, gotta kill you now. It's so awkward because they tried to kill Theo and were part of the people that stole Isildur's horse. I assume they're just gonna let this scene be, and I assume we will never see those again. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the end for the Estrid character. She's just gonna go back with her betrothed, Hagen. Which is insane because they just used her to make Isildur a cuckold simp and get dropped. So fucking embarrassing, dude. I don't even know what the point of this is. I wonder if she's gonna be back and then we do something with her. Maybe she's gonna cuckold her betrothed and it's like, you're a wild man, I don't like you anymore. Fuck you. I'm gonna go and suck Isildur's balls. Also, woohoo! Theo has been rescued and they are like, hey, cool, you kept your promise, Arondir. Hey, no problem, but I gotta go and face Adar and stuff and keep another promise I made to the trees. Wanna come with me? But Theo says, nah, I gotta do my own promise and stuff in the settlement. And then Aron is like, ah, cool, no worries. Well, you're the Lord of Pelargir now.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
He's like 14 in this show. I'm sure as soon as he comes back, everyone will agree this child is very much fit to lead people. You know, because we have seen him do all these impressive feats of leadership like... Oh, what about... No. Yeah, there isn't anything. What are we doing? They surely meant for Bronwyn to be the leader, but as I said in my last video, she stopped being on the show and they needed to come up with something, and they just made him the lord, I assume. Wrapping up with the Elven party, they find the Orcs marching on Elven land. Oh no. Everyone wonders why Adar is here and if he and Sauron are teaming up, or are they at war themselves. Galadriel then gives some great commentary on this question, saying that there are Orcs on Elven land and they are all at war.
Opinion heard, Lieutenant.
They decide to tell the High King about this before they all leave for Mordor. Again, they'll just seem to just send everything away and have nothing to defend Eregion with if they do. So many commanders and you won't have one of them say, well, shouldn't we have like one army still here to defend ourselves? But yeah, I guess not. They were about to send every single soldier to Mordor. But then something really funny happens, because arrows are coming flying. Ah, damn, time to fight. But actually no, it's just orcs hunting for food, and one stray arrow just fucking randomly hit this elf in red shirt. It's so funny, they accidentally hit him and he goes like, ugh! And they try to keep him down. And the orcs don't realize, they're like, damn, my food got away, and they just leave. It's so stupid, but also funny. But it also sets up something insane. They have to check his wound, and Galadriel puts her hand on it, and the ring heals him, and the arrow just falls out. This is big. You can heal people, so from now on when the ring is around, no one can die if they're only injured. What I think is gonna happen is that this is just used to show Elrond, look, it's a good ring, and he will change his mind. I will be very surprised if this ever comes up again. Galadriel tells Elrond she's gonna save as much time as possible and they need to go back to Lindon. Wait, they don't know you're here. Just split up and sneak past them to get to Eregion faster or whatever. Oh, you know, you could have brought some horses. That would have been useful. It seems like they all have to go back to Lindon and Galadriel stays here to be heroic and she even gives Elrond the ring so it doesn't fall into evil people's hands. Then why did you fucking bring it? You knew you're going towards evil. You should have never brought it at all. Also, can you just do this? Did the Tree of Life just turn off? Did you kill all the elves just now? You didn't test any of this. This was a very dumb decision to take it off now when you don't know what it even does. They went all the way here, which is I think about halfway to Eregion, for now all of them to go back except Galadriel. Again, just split up. One half goes to Eregion, the other half goes back to Lindon to warn the High King. Why are you all going back? What an incredible waste of time. Anyway, time for a horrific action scene. She's here to save as much time as possible, which they already have because, you know, they don't know they're here so they can just turn around and leave. But anyway, she goes straight up to this battalion of orcs and starts fighting. She doesn't shoot them from afar with the arrows to kill some of them that way. No, she immediately closes the gap but still mainly uses her bow to kill people. Are we doing bow fu right now? Did they want to do bad John Wick here? Because they succeeded. In this fight, she doesn't use her sword at all. Instead, she has elven throwing knives? Fuck me. Galadriel jumps on the horse. Oh, now a horse is useful. Sure. No, it's fine. I'm not mad. She does more of her weird horse action moves, like lying on it and shooting her bow. It's so weird and dumb. Reminds me of season 1, where she does like this weird flippy-do on her horse. Then she starts riding the horse and grabs a lantern and uses it to make napalm, and then uses chains and stuff up until she gets yanked off the horse and Adar appears. While all of this is happening, she's surrounded by tons of orcs. And as we know, a bunch of them also have bows, but they're all do the thing where they all wait and do nothing and just walk up to her one by one or get killed conveniently for her to not die. And then of course the only guy who might have a reason to take her alive gets to her. Fucking awful. Really, really bad action. And with that, the episode ends with this song?
Now let the song begin.
Why the fuck is this? It's so unfitting after this ending. Why is everything so bad in this show? The elves finally made their way towards the region and find that Sauron can make big lightning that destroys bridges, which makes them go another way with spooky ghosts. This is definitely the only way they can go and can't possibly go around it. Same with the messenger, they have been killed here. This is all Sauron's doing because he just can't do this. I don't know, maybe he has an evil wand and points at stuff and says, ghost here, lightning there, orcs there. Dumb, absolutely stupid. They then find Adar marching towards the region and decide that they all have to turn around like halfway of the trip to tell the High King to not send every single soldier to Mordor in order for them to protect themselves in the region. The ring is very much not corrupt, pinky promise, see it even heals people. Galadriel jumps into a non-winnable fight but gets captured while Elrond escapes with the party and the ring. What a fucking waste of time. None of this would have happened if the king would have just sent a unit or army to a region to guard it. The Harfoots and wizards are now split up, so we have this shit we don't like with multiple threats now. Very epic. Bombadil has been introduced and he seems like a fucking dick and annoying, but he says to Gandalf, can teach him magic, but not quite yet because he's not worthy. Also, you gotta stop both Sauron and the Dark Wizard. The Harfoots just waste our time with a nonsensical plot with a new version of Harfoots that make me want to die. Isildur is a simp cuck and looks like even more of an idiot, while Arondir and Theo retread the same character arc as last season. Also, Theo is a lot of Pelargia now. Sure, why not? This shit sucks so bad, but we're halfway through, yay! Okay, bye.